Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining on time. This is the 19th session for German B1 level. Today's topic is the verb lassen. This is the agenda that you see in front of you. The first topic is we'll try to understand what does the verb lassen itself mean. Then we'll see how you should conjugate the verb lassen. So every verb has conjugation in present tense, in past tense. We'll look at that. Then we will see how to use the verb lassen. And the agenda number three says that the third point in the agenda says that the verb lassen is used as a modal verb, usually used as a modal verb. That means you can also call it a modal verb, but what is important is that if you know how to use a modal verb, then similarly you can use the verb lassen as well. Meaning, when you use the verb lassen, you will be using another verb as well, right? When you use a modal verb, you also use another verb. Then we will, fourth point on the agenda is that there are three ways to use the verb lassen. Three ways meaning the verb lassen will have different meanings based on how it is used. So the context will change. So the verb will remain the same, but the meaning that the sentence conveys will change. So there are three ways. There can be many more ways, but three I know, and I will try to help you understand these three ways. Of course, we'll look how to use lassen in past tense. And then, of course, today we'll also have the 20th session. In that, you will try to learn some new German vocabulary, and I will help you if you struggle with some meanings. Any questions, please ask. Those who have joined for the first time, if anyone, please understand we this is the last week for ongoing B1 batch. So if you have any questions, please ask. If you joined this session because you are part of the group of A1, uh, this may be very heavy for you, but feel free to ask. There is nothing wrong in asking. Disclaimer: if you are preparing for some exam, please do some homework from your side. Get a book. Try to do all the exercises from that book that is necessary if you want to pass the exam. What does the verb lassen mean? It's very simple. It means to let. In English, you have the verb let. And in English, also, you never use the verb let on its own, right? You say, I let my, you say, I let my laptop on the table, right? Let us go, right? I am letting my car get repaired. Letting my car get serviced. You say things like that. So the verb lassen, if you really have to, it can have multiple meanings, but one common meaning of the verb lassen is to let. Now you see this table. On this table, you see how to conjugate the verb lassen. So in the very first column, you have the pronouns. Of course, when you conjugate a verb, you conjugate the verb for the given pronoun. And also, it depends whether you are conjugating it in present tense or in past tense. In present tense, you only have presence. In past tense, there are two ways to conjugate the verb. One is Präteritum, and the other one is perfect. Presence, let's look at that. So the verb is lassen. For ich, it becomes lasse. For du, it is less. For RSZ, it is less. For wir, it is lassen. For ihr, it is lass. For z, small z, capital Z, lassen. If you are trying to hear properly what I'm saying, I'm not saying lest. I'm not saying last. I'm just saying less. You can say do lest, there is nothing wrong in it, but I'm just telling you how normally people where I live in Germany pronounce it. So you don't have to pronounce the T part. Okay, again, one more time. Ich lasse, du lässt, sie lässt, wir lassen, ihr lasst, sie lassen. This is the presence conjugation. Now, in past tense, there are two ways. You have Präteritum and you have perfect. So far, I have told you that if you want to say something in past tense, go with the perfect way because it's easier. Because let's look at the perfect, right? So when you want to use the verb lassen in perfect, you will be using the helping verb haben, and you will only be conjugating the helping verb haben. And instead of lassen, you will be using gelassen everywhere for all the pronouns. And gelassen is the participe zwei or perfect form of the verb lassen. So in perfect, it will be ich hab gelassen, du hast gelassen, sie hat gelassen, wir haben gelassen, ihr habt gelassen, sie haben gelassen. So all you have to do is just remember gelassen, and haben you know how to conjugate for present tense. Let's look at the Präteritum one. So you have ich lies, du lies, sie lies, wir lesen, ihr lies, sie lesen. Again, I'm not saying du liest. I'm not saying wir. I'm not saying ihr liest. You can say, I can also say, but I'm just telling you the way I'm pronouncing it, the way people around me pronounce it in Germany, right? So again, ich lies, du lies, sie lies, wir lesen, ihr lies, sie lesen. You are all are grown-ups. It's not that difficult to remember this table, but if you're still looking for tricks like a 5-year-old, I will give you the tricks. So if you look at the present one, like the conjugation of the verb lassen in present tense, ich lasse, all you do is remove the n one, right? For wir and zizi, it's the same, lassen, right? It's the same thing. For du, it's less. And if you know for do, you also know for rsz, right? So if you know for do, you know for rsz, less, right? And ia, all you have to do is remove the en and add t, right? So the only tricky part is do and rsz. So for example, normally what you do, right? If you want to conjugate a verb for ish, you remove the n. That's what you did, right? And if you want to conjugate something for ia, you remove the n and add t, right? So last, so it's not that difficult. Only for do, it's a little bit difficult. So I mean, not straightforward, right? It's not regular verb. So you have do less umlaut, and if you know for do, you know for rsc. So I'm saying by now you should know that only tricky part with lassen to conjugate is do. Okay, perfect, nothing different. Just add gay everywhere, right? Gelassen. That's all. Präteritum, okay, it looks a little bit difficult because now it changes completely. Instead of s, you have this s set, like it looks like beta, it's not beta. So you have ich lies, du lies, sie lies, wir lesen, ihr liest, sie lesen. Again, wir and sie, it's the same, lesen. Now if you notice in the present one, for do and rsz it was the same. But in Präteritum, for do and ia, it's the same if you check, right? So just remember these things, and it's not that difficult to remember this table. I will wait for 10 seconds. Please, I will ask someone from you to read it so that, because when we do exercises, I want you to remember this, right? So, Vandana, do you mind reading this table for me? Like ish, lasse, do less, and so on.
Ich lasse, du lässt, es lässt, wir lassen, ihr lasst, sie lassen. Präteritum ich lies, du liest, es liest, wir lesen, ihr liest, sie lesen. Perfekt, ich habe gelassen, du hast gelassen, es hat gelassen, wir haben gelassen, ihr habt gelassen, sie haben gelassen.
Thank you very much. Remember this table because when you do exercises, you have to use this one. Let us look at how to use the verb lassen in a sentence. So the headline says that usually the verb lassen is used as a modal verb in a sentence. I'm saying is used as, not like I'm not saying lassen is a modal verb. I'm saying it is used as a modal verb. That means the way you normally use a modal verb, similarly you can use word lassen as well. So on the screen you have 6 sentences. Vandana, please read the sentences for me.
Ja. Der Chef lässt uns früher gehen. Der Chef lässt uns an dem Projekt arbeiten. Ich lasse die Notizen auf dem Konferenztisch liegen. Ich lasse das Laptop auf dem Tisch liegen. Ich lasse den Computer reparieren. Ich lasse das Licht umtauschen.
Thank you. Is my voice breaking for anyone else as well? You don't have to unmute, just do some reaction thumb so that because Suresh says my voice is breaking. Is it breaking for anyone else? Five, four. Okay, then Suresh, maybe check something with your connection. Maybe log in, log out, and log in again. All right. Thank you very much, Vandana, for reading this. Thank you, Jenny, also for confirming that my voice is not breaking for you. So on, you have six sentences, right? Of course, you guys are smart enough to understand the first because there is some gap between the first two and the next two and the next two. The first two sentences are one variety, the next two are one variety, and the third are one variety. But please notice the sentences you have, as I said, usually the verb lassen is used as a modal verb in a sentence. And modal verb, how do you use a modal verb? You conjugate the modal verb, you keep it where you would normally keep the verb, and the actual verb goes to the last position. The actual verbs, gehen, arbeiten, liegen, reparieren, umtauschen, they are at the last position. And the verb lassen, I said we have to use it as a modal verb. It is at the second position or where the conjugated verb normally is. Okay. Again, the main verb or the verb other than lassen is at the last position. Okay, and the verb lassen is at the second position. It has, yeah. What else you should notice over here is that the verb which is at the last position, the verb other than lassen or the main verb or whatever you want to call it, it is in infinitive form or grund form or you have not conjugated it. So gehen, you did not conjugate. Arbeiten, you did not conjugate. Liegen did not conjugate. Reparieren, umtauschen, you did not conjugate, right? That's why I'm saying you use the verb lassen usually as a modal verb. And when you have a modal verb in a sentence, the other verb, you don't conjugate it. You leave it in its infinitive form or grund form or whatever you want to call it. And the verb lassen has been conjugated, right? That's what you do. When you use something like a modal verb, the modal verb gets conjugated. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's necessary. And how do you conjugate it? So all these sentences are in present tense, and you have conjugated the verb lassen for the given subject. So their chef is like third party singular, so er, and for er it is less, right? For ish, lasse. Okay, so I think it's obvious. Repeating it one more time. How to use the grammar, the syntax, how to use lassen. Remember this? Usually the verb lassen is used as a modal verb in a sentence. The way you use modal verb, similarly, you can also use lassen, meaning the verb lassen will be conjugated and the other verb will not be conjugated, meaning the verb lassen, you have to change the spelling based on the given subject. And the other verb, you can keep it, you have to keep it in its infinitive form. Any questions, please ask. One second, somebody wants to join the group. Let me join the session. Let me just add them. Uh, all right. So now we understood how to use the verb lassen. You should use it as a modal verb, the way you normally use it as a modal verb. Now we had six sentences. So you have these six sentences on your screen. Now you have to think. Of course, I will give you the answer, but if you think and if you give wrong answer, you will know you gave the wrong answer and I gave you the right answer. If you give the right answer, you will remember this forever, till you are on the earth. Because you gave an answer just because you can think critically. So anyone in the call wants to tell me what is the difference? So the headline says there are three ways to use the verb lassen. Three ways meaning the 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 utility of the verb lassen is different. Anyone, any idea, any vague idea, what is the difference between the three three boxes, blue, pink, and green? Anyone? Any vague idea? Wrong answers are more than welcome. Really? No one?
The first one is like a permission,
So
allowing.
permit, I heard the word permit. I heard the word allow. Yeah.
Um, um, Krishna said the laptop. Um, and second one could be something like, I mean, without worry, you just let it be. I mean, then you're doing something else, and then you can kind of leave it there.
So let it be is almost close to the answer. You let something. Yeah. I let the laptop on the table. Yeah. Yeah. So situation,
And third one,
position.
and third one could be that someone asked you if I can repair it, and then you say, "Yeah, allow." Again, it's like allow, but in a way that they asked you after permission, "Can I do it?" And I allowed it, kind of thing.
Uh, Not exactly. It's simply that you are not doing it. Somebody else is doing it, and you are saying, I am having the laptop repaired. You are not doing it. That's all. So let me help you with the. So the first one, the Chef lässt uns früher gehen. The Chef lässt uns an dem Projekt arbeiten. Very good, Ruchi. Your answer was correct. So to allow or permit. So the first sentence is saying the chef lässt uns früher gehen, meaning the boss is letting us go uh, home, letting us go earlier, right? Somebody is giving you permission or somebody is allowing. The second one, the chef lässt uns an dem Projekt arbeiten. Again, the boss is letting us work on the project, or the boss lets us work on the project. Something like allow or permit. Next one, the pink one. Ich lasse die Notizen auf dem Konferenztisch liegen. Ich lasse das Laptop auf dem Tisch liegen. Here, Ruchi's answer was almost close. To leave something the way it is, or not the way it is, right? So to leave something or someone somewhere, right? So uh, I come to your house, let's say, and you make me dinner, or and I say, let me wash the plates. You say, no, let it be, because you don't want me to clean the plates because you are a nice house guest, right? So some leave something or someone somewhere, right? So if you notice, what is something over here? The notation. What is somewhere? Conference dish, right? Here, what is something? That's laptop. Where is it being let? Tish, right? The table. Okay. Please ask if any questions. If you notice, in real life, you will notice that people, whenever they use the verb lassen in this context, in the ping context, or to when they are saying that they left something or they are leaving something or someone somewhere, they will the position verb, the verb which is giving the position, right? Liegen. You can also say ich lasse das Laptop auf dem Tisch stehen. Again, it does not make sense because if you use the verb stehen, ich lasse den Laptop, ich lasse das Laptop auf dem Tisch stehen. It will mean that laptop is kind of like vertical. Does not make sense, but let's say. But you will notice that whenever they use the verb lassen in this context, describing position, they will leave the position verb. They will not even say it. So they will just say, ich lasse die Notizen auf dem Konferenztisch. Ich lasse das Laptop auf dem Tisch. That's all. They will not use this one. The verb they will not say. In exam, do it. Your teacher does not know that you know this, yeah? So please don't skip it. But in real life, you will notice that people will leave the position verb. The third context, ich lasse den Computer reparieren. Ich lasse das Licht umtauschen. If there was no lassen over here, then I would say ich repariere den Computer. Ich tausche das Licht um. The verb umtauschen means to replace. Yeah, so I'm replacing the light. Das Licht means light, and it also means normally that whatever light is in your home, that's also light. Yeah. Uh, so if I say ich repariere den Computer, means I am doing the action. I am repairing the laptop computer. If I say ich tausche das Licht um, umtauschen is a separable verb, I am doing the action. But if I am not doing it, if somebody else is doing it, I'm having it done. I am not doing it, somebody else is doing it, and I am having it done. So I will say ich lasse den Computer reparieren. Ich lasse das Licht umtauschen. So what I'm saying is that I am having the computer repaired. uh, I am having the light replaced. Okay, so the third one, green one, is to have or get something done, right? To get something done, or to have something done. Okay? Please ask if any questions. All questions are fine. Okay. There can be many other ways to use the verb lassen, but these three are common to my life, and that's why I'm helping you understand. And also, this is, I think, what you should know at least from B1. So we understand how to use the verb lassen in present tense. Let us look at some examples. Uh,
Rohit, one question.
yeah.
What is the difference between Darf and Lassen?
Uh,
Dürfen and Lassen. Yeah.
it's no, there is no different. I mean, dürfen is very strong. I mean, if I really have to think, right, uh, dürfen is a very strong. Like, if you use darf, it means like you needed a permit or something like that. Yeah. So you can, I mean, in the blue box, you can replace lassen with dürfen. It's fine. You can do it, but you cannot use dürfen in the pink and the green one. Does it make sense, Suresh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the blue one, you can use dürfen. There is no problem. But it's a way of speaking, like, for example, he is allowing us to go, he is letting us go. It's a way of speaking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But good
Understood.
question. Good question. Now what we will do is we will look at some examples of the blue one, the pink one, and the green one. Blue one meaning, like, one way to use the verb lassen, where the verb lassen, the sentence means to allow or to permit. Then the pink one, we'll look at examples where the verb lassen implies to leave something or someone somewhere. Notice I'm saying something or someone. I can also say, Ich lass das Baby auf dem Tisch liegen. Again, not a good thing to do, to let a baby lie on the table alone. But I'm saying you can also, do it. You can do it. Yeah. So I'm saying instead of something, you can also have someone over here. Then we'll look at examples for the green box where the verb lassen is used in a context which means to have or get something done. Yeah. What is being done? That is this verb, right? So, like, you are getting something repaired, you are getting something replaced. Yeah. If no more questions, Ruchi, so these are the examples for sentences where the verb lassen has been used, and it conveys the meaning of to allow or to permit. So you see sentences, I mean, there are like two columns, but they are not separate. I mean, they are just continuous examples. If you don't mind, would you mind reading the ones which are not in brackets? Because the ones which are in brackets, they are English. So,
Yes. So
wait, Vinay, do you have a question? Sorry, wait once.
Yes, actually, in the last slide,
Yeah.
to leave someone or somewhere. So, suppose if I want to say I leave my kids at kindergarten, can I also use lasse in this
Ja,
context, or
ja, ich lasse meine Kinder im Kindergarten bleiben. But
okay? So
it means that, I mean, it really means that, for example, let's say you and we are in the same family and there are some kids and we want to go out, like for a family dinner, and I say, what about the kids? And you'll say, ja, ja, ich lasse die Kinder im Kindergarten bleiben. Yeah,
okay.
something.
So it's just like you let the kids stay in kindergarten, something like this.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah, something
But
like.
what is the exact verb? Suppose if I want to say I have to drop the kids at kindergarten. So what is the exact verb when we
To
have to go?
drop. To drop. I don't think how. I don't know. To be honest, at the moment, I don't know how to say to drop. I would say, ich muss die Kinder zum Kindergarten bringen. Like, I have to
Bring.
bring the kids. I mean, I'll say it in a different way because right now I can't think of the word to drop.
Okay.
I mean, I know drop means fallen, but you cannot use.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ich bringe die Kinder zum Kindergarten. I will say it like that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Und dann lasse ich die da bleiben.
Okay.
Because we have family dinner. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
More questions? Okay. Rishi, sorry, do you mind reading? Ignore the ones which are in brackets before Ruchi starts reading. Everybody has to read, but don't unmute yourself. This is the time. Practice. I know you had a tough day. It's Monday. Now practice German. Yeah. Escape from your whatever tough life you have. Please start reading, Ruchi.
Der Chef lässt mich von zu Hause arbeiten.
Hause.
Äh, Hause arbeiten. Sie lässt ihn die Präsentation vorbereiten. Wir lassen sie das Meeting leiten. Er, er lässt mich den Kunden anrufen. Der Manager lässt uns die Pause verlängern. Sie lässt mich den Bericht überprüfen. Der Chef lässt uns an dem Projekt arbeiten. Er lässt mich die Notizen machen. Der Vorgesetzte lässt uns den Raum nutzen. Der Direktor lässt sie die Dokumente unterschreiben.
Read the last sentence one more time. Don't make mistakes, please.
Der Direktor lässt sie die Dokumente unterschreiben.
It's not English, it's German. It's not you, it's U.
Unterschreiben.
No, Documenta. You said document.
Dokumente unterschreiben.
Very good. Read this verb one more time. Here, this one. This print just now.
Ja. Sie lässt ihn die Präsentation vorbereiten.
This is B1 Ruchi. You have to understand. You learned alphabets in A1. It's A. It's always A. It's not A.
Präsentation vorbereiten.
Yes. Or you can just be smart about it and just say Prezi. Yeah. Sorry for being rude, but
No. It's good to notice because when some things I don't hear and then I don't use it. But now when you bring it to a notice, I'll remember it more. Thank you.
Okay. But overall, it was really good. Yeah. Any questions, anyone? No. There are on the slide, you have around at least 10 sentences, right? So after you leave, go through recording. Don't you have to go to the entire recording? Just go through this part. I will add timestamps. There are 10 verbs. You should know these 10 verbs if I come to your house tomorrow at 4 a.m. in the morning and throw cold water on your face, right? You should know these 10 verbs and a few more. So let's look at the second way to use the verb lassen, right? So to leave something or someone somewhere. Vinay, do you mind?
Yeah, I can read. Ich lasse die Akten im Büro. Ich lasse die Dokumente auf dem Schreibtisch. Ich lasse den Bericht im Besprechungsraum. Ich lasse das Handy in der Tasche. Ich lasse die Tür offen. Ich lasse den Schlüssel in der Schublade. Ich lasse die Notizen auf dem Konferenztisch. Ich lasse den Vertrag beim Empfang. Ich lasse das Buch im Regal. Ich lasse den Laptop auf dem Stuhl.
Very good. For just say this just this pronoun. Say it once.
Ich lasse die Akten im Büro.
Okay, yeah. Okay, there's nothing wrong. I just feel that there is a very strong ha at the end. Nothing wrong.
Okay.
It's just weird for me. Maybe something is wrong with me. Yeah. No problem. Maybe yeah. But do you notice the sentences are not wrong, but do you notice anything like something wrong about like something off about these sentences? I told you, yeah. Vinay?
Verb is missing.
Like another verb is missing at the end.
Yeah, another verb is missing, right? So as I said, it's not necessary. Okay, it's not necessary. So here you are using the verb lassen. So again you can write it, but you don't have to. So ich lasse die Akten im Büro. It's something like I'm leaving the files in office. Ich lasse die Dokumente auf dem Schreibtisch. I'm leaving the documents auf dem Schreibtisch. Yeah. So again, here, as I said, like in this way, you don't have to have the other verb. You can add if you want to be 100% sure. Okay. Let me just see who else is there in the session. Yes. Suresh, read and please don't make any mistakes.
I will try.
Before you start, no problem. Yeah, try to read slowly, And so here, Suresh will be reading sentences where the verb lassen is having the meaning or the context to have or get something done. Yeah. So read.
Okay. Ich lasse die Drucker Patronen austauschen. Ich lasse den Konferenzraum reinigen. Ich lasse die Software aktualisieren. Ich lasse die Präsentation erstellen. Ich lasse die Berichte drucken. Ich lasse das Licht reparieren. Ich lasse die Telefon installieren. Ich lasse die Fenster putzen. Ich lasse das Netzwerk warten. Ich lasse die Möbel leiten.
Liefen. Okay, so there are
Ah,
obvious
sorry.
mistakes. I will not tell you the mistakes. I will let someone else read, and I hope that person does. I mean, it was good, I'm just trying to be as strict as I can be, so it's fine. But there are some mistakes here and there, Yeah. But here, if you notice here, no, I told you like the verb lassen means to let, but here it's not obvious, right? So if I am letting let's say the first one, right? Ich lasse das Licht reparieren. I mean, if you really if you want to translate, I said lassen means to let. It will mean something like I am letting the light repaired. It does not make sense, right? So here it's a little bit, like you have to understand when you use it. In your head, it will not make sense, but it literally means I am having the light repaired. Yeah, even though it's lassen. Okay, so it takes some practice. Tomorrow say some things like that. Yeah, for example, ich lasse the software aktualisieren. Suresh, you said software. I mean, I know you were trying to be very. It's just that some words you say it as it is. You don't have to say it the way Germans will say it. So software is software, not software. Ich lasse the software aktualisieren. I'm having the software updated. Yeah, something like that. Ich lasse die Möbel liefern. I'm having the furniture delivered. Yeah. So Swati, I see you're on the call. Do you mind reading the sentences one time?
Hi, sorry, my wife's account was there, so it logged in with her account. I'm Yogesh, her husband.
Hi, welcome,
Yeah.
Yogesh. Do you mind reading?
Yeah, sure. Ich lasse die Druckerpatronen austauschen. Ich lasse den Konferenzraum reinigen. Ich lasse die Software aktualisieren. Ich lasse die Präsentation erstellen. Ich lasse die Bericht drucken. Ich lasse das Licht reparieren.
Yogesh, no, there's no need to be fast. So try
Okay,
to be
sure.
slow. So it's berischte. Yeah, berischte.
Okay.
You just said berischt. Slowly. There is no need to hurry. Start from the
Okay.
first sentence one more time.
Ich lasse die Berichte drucken. Ich lasse das Licht reparieren.
So
Ich lasse
no, wait. What is this alphabet in German? How do you pronounce this alphabet? E, right? Not
ja,
so.
Licht.
Licht. Yeah.
Licht. Ja.
German is a phonetic language. That's the good part about it. You never really have to guess. It's exactly the way you learn the alphabets, almost the same way you have to read. It's not like English. You have to guess. Yeah. Continue.
Ich lasse das Licht reparieren. Ich lasse die Telefon installieren. Ich
Again,
lasse die
telephone.
Telefone installieren.
Not
Ich lasse
not installieren.
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 Yeah, and then this time, if you want to speak like a native, when you say this installieren, don't say the R part. So say installieren.
Installieren.
Yeah,
Like
very
this.
good. Now you speak like a true German. Don't do this in exam; they'll cut your marks. Yeah.
Sure. Ich lasse die Fenster putzen. Ich lasse das Netzwerk warten. Ich lasse die Möbel liefern.
Not liefern, just liefern.
Liefern.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Any questions?
I have one question from the previous slide. So here the lasse means, during start we learned that lasse can be used as a modal verb.
Yeah.
But in this pink slide, is it like it? Yeah, here we say that okay, lassa can be used as a modal verb, but if we read the sentences in the bigger sentences, so that there we can we say that it's a normal conjugative.
So here, so here what I said, like the pink one, I'm saying in real life, you don't like in blue and pink, you have to say the other verb. But here you don't really have to say it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can
Ah,
say the other verb, but you don't have to say it. And common practice, if you let's talk to people, they will not like when you spoke in German, they will leave the this other verb.
mm,
So when
okay.
you the verb lassen is being used to say to leave something or someone somewhere. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
you can say it. You don't have to. Yeah,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah. More questions?
No,
So
that's thanks.
most welcome. Thank you very much for reading. For some reason, you all are very good with pronunciation. Keep doing it.
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks.
yeah. So now I told you in the beginning that so let's go back. Let's go back. So we learned how to say use the verb lassen in present tense, right? And I tell you normally, everybody tells you if you have learned German from someone else as well. When you want to say something in past tense, go with perfect because it makes your life easier. Because if you go with Präteritum, you will have to remember the conjugations, like different combinations in Präteritum, for each verb, each pronoun, right? So you learn ich lasse, du lässt, er ist sie lässt, wir lassen, ihr lasst, sie lassen, and then again if you want to say in past tense, if you go with perfect, all you have to do is remember gelassen and haben you already know, right? So gelassen will stay the same for all the pronouns. And preteritum, I have told you, Rias must have told you, it's difficult because if every verb that you learn, if you want to use it in past tense as well, you learn the conjugations in presence, you also learn in preteritum. And that's why they say that go with perfect, because instead of learning again 4 or 5 different versions of the same verb, you learn just one more different version of the same verb, right? I have told you that. But your teachers and I have also told you that this is like it makes your life easier, but sometimes using perfect will make your life difficult. And lassen is one such verb, at least in I think if you want to say something in past tense and the verb lassen is there, go with preteritum. Perfect will be difficult. Yeah. So all you have to I'm saying when you want to say something in past tense and the verb lassen is there in your sentence, you should go with preteritum. So one last time I'm reading, remember, ich lies, du lies, sie lies, wir lesen, ihr lies, sie lesen. Okay, it's not that difficult when you speak, right? Because wir and sie listen. Ich, if you really look at it, right, ich, du, ia and RSZ. It sounds the same. There is spelling change, but ish lease, do lease, RSZ lease, ia lease. It sounds the same, right? So you don't really have to learn. And again, on paper you have to be careful, but when you speak, it sounds the same. Ish lease, do lease, RSZ lease, ia lease, and for via ZZ, it's listen. So. Uh, One second. All right. Anyone, let me see if who can read. So this is the exercise where I want you to say the same sentences in past tense. I see Jenny. I don't know if you're learning for the first time, but
Yeah.
can you say these sentences in past tense? Remember, you have to use the preteritum of not this. Yeah. How will you write these sentences in past tense?
Der Chef lässt uns früher gehen.
Continue.
Der Chef lässt uns an dem Projekt arbeiten. Ich, ich ließ die Notizen auf dem Konferenztisch liegen. Ich ließ das Laptop auf dem Tisch liegen. Ich ließ den Computer reparieren. Ich ließ das Licht umtauschen.
Yes. So it's not that difficult, to say the same sentence in past tense. It's
Yeah.
right. So I'm saying now, can you also do this using this gelassen? You can do it. I don't think you need to learn it right away. Okay, you can learn it. Maybe I don't think it's necessary. You can learn it. You can always make the language much more sophisticated. But I think this is enough, right? So the verb lassen, you should understand, right? So there are many verbs, right? But we don't have sessions for every verb. We had one like almost 40 minutes for lassen. That means it's a special verb, meaning it will be used quite often around you, right? So from now onwards, see how people are using the verb lassen and try to use accordingly. Yeah. So there is the reason why we had the verb lassen. Let's do a very quick revision of the verb lassen, because after this we'll do the vocabulary part. So what does the verb lassen mean? It means to let. This is the table for you to learn so that you know how to conjugate the verb lassen. In Präsens, it is ich lasse, du lässt, sie lässt, wir lassen, ihr lasst, sie lassen. Präteritum, ich ließ, du ließ, sie ließ, wir ließen, ihr ließ, sie ließen. Perfekt, ich habe gelassen, du hast gelassen, sie hat gelassen, wir haben gelassen, ihr habt gelassen, sie haben gelassen. How to use the verb lassen? Usually the verb lassen is used as a modal verb in a sentence. That means if you want to use the verb lassen, just think how you will use a modal verb. And normally when you use a modal verb, you always have one other verb. And you conjugate the modal verb, the other verb, you leave it as it is. Right? So, yes, Vinay, right? Or Vandana, yeah, please ask.
In the perfect tense, I have a question. How do we write the sentence? For example, is it like ich habe die Notizen auf dem Konferenztisch gelassen, liegen? How do we bring both of these verbs?
Yeah, let me just think. I will have to think because I never use it. 1 second. Let's go here. So you want to say, yeah, you want to say this in past tense, right? Let me make a copy of it. Good question. I have no idea. I'll just check from my memory how if I have heard someone use it. So I want to use the chef hat uns früher gehen lassen. Okay, that is one way to use it. Yeah. Let me continue the revision. Something I can't think of a sentence right now. Yeah, I'll get back.
No
to you.
problem.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
problem.
yeah. I never use it. So normally the verb lassen is used as a modal verb in a sentence, meaning when you use the verb lassen, there will be one more verb in the sentence, and you conjugate only the verb lassen. The other verb you leave it as it is. You don't touch it. That meaning the other verb will be in its infinitive form. Suresh, please ask.
Maybe I missed something about Präteritum. Präteritum case, the main verb is in the same
The main verb is as it is.
form,
Yeah.
or
Don't
okay.
yeah. Main verb just remains as it is. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
It's like modal verb, right? For example, ich will arbeiten, presence. If you want to say the thing in past tense, you just say ich wollte arbeiten, right? Arbeiten remains the same. Make sense?
Okay,
Yeah.
understood.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, there are three ways to use the verb lassen. The chef, the first one is, if you look, the first two sentences, the chef lässt uns früher gehen, the chef lässt uns an dem Projekt arbeiten. Here, the verb lassen is conveying the meaning that the subject is allowing or permitting something. The pink one, ich lasse die Notizen auf dem Konferenztisch liegen, ich lasse das Laptop auf dem Tisch liegen. Here, the subject ich, or whatever the subject it is leaving the noun, the Notizen or laptop somewhere. Where? conference Tisch or just Tisch, right? Instead of Notizen laptop like something, you can also have someone like a person. The green one, ich lasse den Computer reparieren, ich lasse das Licht umtauschen. Here, the verb, it's a little bit, it's not very intuitive to understand the meaning of lassen over here, but it means to have or get something done. Instead of like, ich repariere den Laptop, I say, ich lasse den Laptop reparieren. I'm letting the laptop get repaired, or I'm having the laptop repaired, or I'm getting the laptop computer repaired. Here are some examples. Please go through them again. Examples for the verb lassen when it means to allow or permit. Examples for the verb lassen when it means to leave or something or someone somewhere. Examples for lassen when you have the verb lassen means to have something or get something done. The pink one, to leave something or someone somewhere, if you notice in the examples, I said you use lassen as a modal verb. So, but here, where is the other verb? It's not there because normally in spoken German, when you use lassen the pink way to leave something or someone or somewhere, leave something or someone somewhere, the other verb, you don't have to say it. You can say it, you don't have to say it. How to write the sentence in past tense? I told you, just use the Präteritum of lassen. So, der Chef ließ uns früher gehen, der Chef ließ uns an dem Projekt arbeiten, ich ließ die Notizen auf dem Konferenztisch liegen, ich ließ das Laptop auf dem Tisch liegen, ich ließ den Computer reparieren, ich lasse das Licht umtauschen. All right. So, let's come back to any questions. Otherwise, we have to. Okay, if no more questions, we will now do the vocabulary. I will end this call and we will. I'll post the link. You can join that and we'll try to learn some vocabulary. Also, by now, I think if you are in the group, all those in the call, I hope you are part of the WhatsApp group. You know the event batch is starting again, complimentary. You don't have to pay. I'm not asking for anything. You can, because you are B1, it's irrelevant for you. You can tell your family, friends, whoever you think they want to learn, they can join the A1 sessions. Yeah, if you think I'm really bad, let them stay away from me. Also, it will be nice if you could all. I had posted this feedback form. Please, those who are in the call, please fill the form. It just takes. That's the only thing I'm asking, right? Yeah. So please fill the form. All right.